What's going on, beautiful people? It is I, your flying locomotive, and faster than a speeding bullet SuperCliff, coming at you live with a brand new video. And for today's majestic and fantastic video, we are hitting up the nightlife, folks, with Moon Knight, issue number 27. But before we dive into the night, the world of marvelous luminous crime fighter, if you are new to the channel, then smash that like and subscribe button. That way you guys never miss out on anything that happens on this majestic channel. So what are you waiting for? Let's raise the bar and go full on Super Saiyan. Hit that subscribe button. Thus, without further ado, let's get freaky with Moon Knight, issue number 27. So our story begins in the hospital, most fitting for a Moon Knight comic intro, as it's here where we see both Moon Knight and Hunter's Moon standing over Holly's bed. Now remember, back in issue number 2, Holly was the bad guy who used his sweat to take on Moon Knight. And yes, you heard correctly. Check it. Holly's sweat has the ability to create psychic bridging, thus allowing his consciousness into people's mind in order to control them. Because the only lead both characters had to find Black Spectre was through Vibro, but given the fact that Hunter's Moon beat the crap out of him, the two Fists will need to use Holly's sweat to sort of, act as a medium. That way they go through Holly and his sweat, and they'll be able to get inside Vibro's mind and extract the information that they need. Weird stuff, but hey, we are reading comic books. What did you expect? Alas, Operation Sweat begins, and from there, both Moon Knight and Hunter's Moon make it inside Vibro's mind. However, despite the fact that Vibro is unconscious, the villain's subconscious defenses are alerted, to which we see constructs of Vibro entering the scene to fight off our heroes. However, it's during this fight where we see one of Vibro's mental constructs chasing someone down, meaning someone else is inside Vibro's mind aside from Moon Knight and Hunter's Moon. Now, because we're inside a mental landscape and this is a Moon Knight comic, Mark's personalities, Steve and Jake, are also present. And so while the Fists are fighting off the Vibros, Steve and Jake talk to the guy who is running away. And it turns out that his name is Alton, and apparently the only thing he remembers was that he was falling and now he's somehow trapped in here. Alton goes on to say that he isn't a mutant or a psychic with powers, he's a geologist. And for some reason, all the Vibros, or as he puts it, the monsters, are chasing him, wanting to punish Alton because they worship the Black Spectre. Now, according to Alton, Black Spectre wants to kill Manhattan. With Vibro's knowledge of geology, Sarnak who knows about sound, and Black Spectre who knows how to drive people insane, the three of them together have been building a machine, something called the Manhattan Schist, which is basically a giant resonator that will broadcast Sarnak's madness music, which of course we've seen demonstrated before in previous issues. In other words, through sound, Black Spectre wants to Batman Begins everyone in Manhattan. Now, after Moon Knight and Hunter's Moon take down a squad of Vibros, eventually more are shown to be coming from the distance, and they keep yelling the word apostate. And it's in this exact moment where Moon Knight understands on what's happening. You see, according to Vibro's dossier, he was once a geologist who fell into the San Andreas Fault, along with his experimental seismology equipment. And from that point on, Vibro was born, for that was the day when Alton Vibrex became a villain. In other words, Alton is a construct. Alton is Vibro before becoming Vibro, meaning Alton is the last piece of goodness left in Vibro. And so after this revelation and after Moon Knight gives Alton encouraging words, Alton is able to tell our hero that Black Spectre's operations are located at the Olympus Room. And thus, with Alton's help, the goodness that he represents is able to hold back the army of Vibros, in turn allowing Moon Knight and his compatriots to escape the mental landscape, making Operation Sweat a success. However, elsewhere, Black Spectre and his people find out that Vibro has been taken, meaning the timetable has now moved up, and that tonight is the night when they strike. And that, folks, was the end of Moon Knight, issue number 27. And thank you guys for checking out my video, as it truly, truly means the world to me. So yeah, Moon Knight continues to be Jed MacKay's success story. Once more, we get ourselves another amazing issue filled with great writing and wonderful art that really helps solidify the luminous tone a Moon Knight comic should have. One of the things Jed MacKay is really good at, and I've said this before when it comes to writers like Philip Kennedy Johnson, is knowing when to utilize parts of your story for the current section that the story's at now. Like having the creative imagination of bringing back a throwaway character like Holly and have his ridiculous power be the key in helping out our heroes obtaining information is pretty amazing. And it's a perfect example on how a writer can showcase something really stupid or silly, yet have it work for the story and having it not come off like some random way out for the characters. Basically, writer introduces an early concept, that being the sweat power, and brings it back 25 issues later. That's how you do it. You set up something, you explain how that thing works, and essentially, with anything can be properly written. But it's all about execution and knowing when to properly reintegrate something for the story. I'm also a fan of how the story manages to have us, the readers, give a shit about, an F-tier villain. I thought the reveal of Ultron being the last bastion of good within Vibra was pretty fantastic and very touching, and is a great way in showing that no matter who or what you are, it's never too late to be redeemed. Unless you're Adolf Hitler. That guy sucks. Overall, great issue, and I can't wait to see what else Jed MacKay has in store for this series. Years later, this will definitely be the series that is known to have made Jed MacKay as a big dog within the comic book landscape. Well done, sir. Well done. So yeah, as always, I'm your majestic sayer over at SuperCliff, and if you guys are new to the channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button, and also the notification bell so you'll never miss out on an upload, and so you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on this issue? Are you guys excited for issue number 28? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace. Giggity goo.